This message is sponsored by the Cliffside Malibu Rehabilitation Center. You want to hit this?
Isn't that stuff addictive?
Yes. Hi, I'm Nico Monazami, and I'm here to inform you about the truth of marijuana. Extended use of marijuana has been proven to lead to dependence. When constantly high off marijuana, your brain is being flooded with dopamine, which overall leads to a chemical imbalance in the brain. When you are finally off the drug, you have an urge to get back this feeling that you once had. This is addiction. When understanding addiction, it is important to know how THC affects different structures in the brain. For example, here you see the nucleus accumbens. One of the purposes of this structure is for motivation and reward. When THC binds to the receptors in the nucleus accumbens, it releases neurotransmitters, which give the user feelings of euphoria. Another example is in the hypothalamus. One of the hypothalamus's many purposes is to regulate hunger. When THC binds to these receptors, appetite is increased. These are just two examples of the many different structures that THC has an influence on, which can overall lead you to dependence. I know what you're thinking. Addiction is horrible. Only criminals get addicted to drugs. Well, this is wrong. Genetics plays a very large role in addiction, especially with marijuana. For example, CHRNA2 has been recently associated with marijuana abuse. Since this is a new finding, there is not much known about CHRNA2. However, scientists have found that the underexpression of CHRNA2 has a higher influence on someone to be dependent on THC. CHRNA2 is one of the many genes that play its role in marijuana addiction. If you or anyone you know is struggling with marijuana addiction, please visit our website or call us at 844-214-5495.
Hello, this is PBS The More You Know. My name is Lara Ulrich, and today we're going to learn about the psychoactive substance marijuana. You might have questions like, what is marijuana? Where does it come from? And all these fun things. Well, today you're going to learn all those things. So get ready. Marijuana, also known as pot, weed, ganja, Mary Jane, and probably a bunch of other names that I'm not cool enough to be aware of, is derived from the sativa or indica cannabis plant. There's 500 chemical components. One of them is THC, the most popular one. You get this effect from the leaves, the flowers, and the bud. Marijuana is used medically, religiously, spiritually, and recreationally. Recreationally, it's used for its euphoric high and relaxing effect on people. Medically, as known from CBD, it usually excites hunger and inhibits nausea. This is shown in AIDS patients. And lastly, spiritually / religiously, it is used as like a spiritual experience to sometimes get into dissociative trances. To quote Bob Marley, the more man smokes herb, the more Babylon falls. Evidence of smoking marijuana dates way, way back. The most recent findings have shown that in the Zhangjiakou region of China, there's evidence of marijuana residue in wooden bowls in a cemetery, which is really cool. And this is nearly 2,500 years old. Wow.
Wow.
I want to thank National Geographic and drugabuse.gov for providing me this great information. Please research further because it is so important to know about these things. I hope my information didn't put you guys to sleep.
This message is brought to you by the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Hello everyone, my name is Officer Hetherington, and today I will be teaching you about the importance of staying marijuana free. As one of the world's most common drugs, marijuana, aka the devil's lettuce, is classified as a depressant, a stimulant, and a hallucinogen. A triple threat. As a depressant, marijuana affects your nervous system. This means it will slow your brain function while calming nerves and easing anxiety. Sounds relaxing, huh? Wrong! These effects only take place on some users, while other users face stimulating effects like increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, and increased mood. Ever heard of paranoia? For some users, paranoia and anxiety are triggered during marijuana use, even though other users experience the opposite. It's a mixed bag, and do you really want to take that chance? As a hallucinogen, marijuana can create hallucinations for some users. Although this is rare, marijuana does trigger common hallucinogen effects, including, you guessed it, nausea. Also, dry mouth and detachment from surroundings. According to the DEA, marijuana falls as a Schedule I drug. Schedule I. What does that mean, you may ask? It means that marijuana has no current accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Now, this is up for debate, however, because some studies have found that marijuana has a positive effect on cancer patients going through chemotherapy as they attempt to control their pain. If their findings have enough evidence to back them up, the DEA may update their original scheduling. So, next time your friends invite you to take a hit of their paraphernalia, maybe you should think a little bit about this. Thank you.
Greetings. Welcome to Johns Hopkins University. Here we have completed some eye-opening findings on the effect that marijuana has on the human body. While the FDA may lead you to think otherwise, we are just discovering really how marijuana affects the human body in these really exciting experiments. Now, my name is Dr. Mar Juana, and I am the leading researcher of marijuanology here at Johns Hopkins. Fun fact about me, I graduated from Yale with a PhD at 16. So, we're going to start by talking about the main psychoactive component in marijuana, which is THC, delta G tetrahydrocannabinol. This is the chemical composition of that psychoactive component. And its legality is disputed, and it is illegal federally, but statewide, there's a gray area about THC. Marijuana also features a lot of non-psychoactive components, the primary of which being CBD, you may have heard of it, cannabidiol, and this is federally legal. So this is the chemical composition of CBD. Now I'm going to take you on the computer with me, and we are going to look into our fantastic new studies at Johns Hopkins. All right, welcome back. Let's jump right into the Johns Hopkins marijuana study. What we have on the left side here is Cresco Labs showing you the difference between sativa and indica strains. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but you can read the effects over here. And on the right, you can see the difference. Sativa has the thinner leaves and indica has the bushier leaves, and indica is more used in medical marijuana, and it has the effects more commonly associated with marijuana usage. So what I'm going to be covering today in brief is the cannabinoid system. So over here we have endocannabinoids. And what they do is they travel from the postsynaptic to the presynaptic. So typically, as you know, neurons travel through neurotransmitters to receptors from the pre to post, but endocannabinoids do the opposite. They travel back to cannabinoid receptors in the presynaptic. And by doing this, they relay messages, and they act kind of as a post office system, if you will, for the cannabinoid system in the human body. Now, this could amplify or diminish effects of various senses in the body, such as the sense of smell, a neurotransmitter that inhibits smell that endocannabinoids deliver to cannabinoid receptors could actually result in smells being intensified. So what marijuana does, basically, endocannabinoids go from one postsynaptic to one presynaptic in a sole neurotransmitter. Marijuana covers every neurotransmitter in the entire system. So this overloads your senses, or does the opposite, as can be seen as it could diminish over here. So users that take marijuana actually have different effects based on their brain chemistry, genetics, and previous life experiences, and this largely determines how they experience the effects of the drug, like this user right here. So thank you for watching our informational talk, and please feel free to donate for the science of the future at jhu.edu. Thank you, I'm Dr. Mar Juana, and I'll see you later.